Hey all, welcome back to the channel, and today, let's say go with the Transformers Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 iteration of Galaxy Shuttle. He'll be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light up my baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All that in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube at any given time to become a channel member. And this is the new Velocitron Speedia 500 iteration of Galaxy Shuttle from Transformers Victory. What can I say about this? I hated this mold as Astrotrain. I felt like it was far less than a later class. I didn't feel like it was worth the price. I didn't know why it came with all of the extra bits and pieces in a desperate attempt to turn a Voyager into a leader, which failed as far as I'm concerned. But do those same feelings hold true here, or do I think it works better for this guy? Because maybe, just maybe in this case, all of the extra bits and pieces make sense. Do they? Don't they? Is he the right size? Is he too small? How does he scale with, say, other characters from Transformers Victory that he's supposed to scale with? What kind of a personality does this guy have? A lot of unanswered questions. So without any further ado, how about we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy? And yes, indeed, here we are with the Transformers Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 collection. And this time around, it is of course going to be the leader class version of Victory Universe Galaxy Shuttle. Whoa, is that ever a mouthful? Before we look at Galaxy Shuttle in his train mode, yeah, I know, weird, but we'll talk about it. Let's look at the packaging first. And yes, indeed, here we have the packaging for Galaxy Shuttle. Here's Galaxy Shuttle on the front, and over here in his shuttly mode, being all shuttly, it wraps around the side. Over here we have a nice close-up. Nice head, right? Nice looking head there. On the back, of course, we have all of your regular product images and all of that junk and stuff. We have this giganto sheet of instructions, but I mean, again, this is a mold reuse where it was used for Astrotrain in Siege and Earthrise. I was not a fan of that use at all. We'll see how this one fares. And here we have Galaxy Shuttle in his train mode. He clocks in at 296 grams. I do feel like there is some more paint here. It is still far too light for what a traditional leader class offering is at 325 grams. So I do find that disappointing. And of course, Galaxy Shuttle shouldn't be a train. Now, I will say this. When I looked at the Astrotrain use of this, it wasn't for me. I wasn't a fan of it for Astrotrain. I prefer the Titan's Return. I didn't like that it was undersized, and I found it kind of needlessly complicated, I suppose you could say. Now, I know a lot of people love it. I know it's very popular. It just wasn't for me. I also, in that review, made the mistake of having a couple of things not done correctly in the transformation. Notably, I didn't have the, I don't know what we call this, the light, I guess, the lamp, pulled up. It was still inside. That was a mistake on my part. And I didn't have these two sections pulled down as they're supposed to be for the cowcatcher, I guess, at the front. That being said, even with them pulled down, it still kind of bugs me because why are these two front tires in more than all 8 of these? I mean, again, if you look underneath, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 all the way in. So I do find that annoying. Personally, I mean, to each their own. This rolls just fine. We have the Tinder back here. Again, that's fine as well. I didn't go through all of the accessories. There are 5 of them. There are 2 of these blasters here on the side. There's this orange piece up here that's like a light, a missile launcher, whatever. And then there's 2 more inside. Of course, with Astrotrain, they were all, I think, black. So if you had your Astrotrain bits, or you had a spare Astrotrain and you didn't like these orangey red ones, you could always use that. I also didn't like with Astrotrain that in order to get him a little bit taller and at some sort of a sensible height, we were going to have to use 2 pieces back here and give him like clown feet basically. However, I feel like that might work better for Galaxy Shuttle because his original look did have big feet. So putting those pieces on actually I think works better this time with Galaxy Shuttle. So yeah, it's a train, it's fine. I like the look of the black, it's dandy, I guess. I'm not going to give scores, of course, but we are going to take the Tinder and the train apart, and I'm going to put the Tinder in really the, you know, we'll say the base mode, and I'm going to show you a way to do a base version of the train because the original Galaxy Shuttle did have a kind of a pseudo base mode, so I'm going to show that sort of fan mode on our way to Shuttle, and then we'll go from Shuttle to Robot. Hope that makes sense. And here's our Tinder. We're going to take that blaster off and that blaster off. We're going to open out the sides. We're going to flip all of that out. And then this here, actually I'm going to get these out of the way. This here turns around thusly like that. No. Like that for this mode. I found with Astrotrain that this did not like to lie down perfectly flat. I still find the same thing here. It does not like to lie perfectly flat. Again, these will eventually become feet. I do, however, like the look of the blue in here, and I even like this, what almost seems like a helipad. I dig this. I do. I actually really like this. Of course, we got a couple of holes here for blasters, and you could probably use peg holes up here for more blasters if you want. Of course, the Shuttle eventually will go here. And to be fair, the Shuttle, or Galaxy Shuttle, when he was in Shuttle mode, most often was on the that big Micromaster rocket base, right? Like he was the Shuttle on that. So this will actually tie in very nicely, say, with your the Botropolis set, right? You could kind of incorporate that with this, and the Skylinks that could incorporate nicely with this, the Earthrise Skylinks. I'm not going to be showing that in this review because we have a lot to cover, though stay tuned because what I'll probably end up doing at some point is a little bit of an update, like as a short to show all of that together sometime in the next couple of weeks. So we'll take this out of it. Now, while I mentioned possible incorporation with some of the Micromaster kind of base things, and I know Skylinks isn't really a Micromaster base, but you can sort of open it up to be like the original Micromaster rocket base and whatnot. This guy, Galaxy Shuttle, actually did have like a little bit of his own, I'll call it base mode. Now, it was iffy, I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to attempt an approximation of that here as well, for those who would like that level of accuracy. Okay, so we're going to come here and split these as they should be, and split on this side. We're going to fold this up and fold this up, and I should be able to come down here and flip out a wing and flip out a wing. These pieces here should come out, and this should be able to flip up around this way. Yeah, flip up around that way. And on this side, same sort of thing. We come over here, and this should be able to untab and flip up around that way. I'm going to pick this off, and I'm going to bring that out sort of like this. The arms here, I'm going to bring out to the side, and I'm going to rotate down at the bicep to underneath, and I'm going to take this and rotate down the bicep underneath like that. I'm going to fold down hold on. I'm going to fold down that piece thusly. Now it's kind of going off screen, so I'm going to back things up a little bit so we can get a better look at it. Okay, so now that we have this much done and a kind of a solid-ish base, we can split this, put in the, I don't know what exactly we call that, the lamp again, fold out the nose cone and put it together and leave these on the sides thusly. Or did I bring this down? Maybe I was supposed to bring that down? I think I was supposed to bring that down. And angle all of that kind of forward. Then you can take the blasters and stuff and, for example, put it here. I'm doing it this way because the nose of the shuttle should be the front of the base, but that's up to you, kind of how you handle that. And we can put this one over here as well. When it comes to the other two blasters, we can take one, and I should be able to find the peg hole right there in that arm, and take the other one and find the peg hole here in that arm, straighten those up, and I guess wherever you would want to put this, you can just put that wherever works. And this is an approximation of the original shuttle mode, or base mode. Now with the original base mode, really the two legs kind of stuck out, sort of like the blasters are there. The wings were flat down pretty much on the ground, and the shuttle nose was right side up instead of upside down like this, but it was still facing forward. So this is a very rough approximation. I suppose if you really wanted to, you could turn it this way and finagle this a bit more and turn the entire nose cone around a bit more, but that would be your call. This is definitely not perfect for his base mode, but like, it's a neat little approximation, I guess. Now, we are gonna go on to shuttle mode from here. So let's do just that. We're going to take this blaster off and take this blaster off and this blaster and this blaster here. We're going to bring the nose out. We're going to bring the legs basically back and around, if I'm not mistaken. And we're going to bring this up too. We got to bring the arms here up. They need to come up over the head, and this needs to come out, so maybe we'll do this first. Get all of that together, and all of this will... That does not want to tab in. I do find the arm tabs on this are rougher than they were on Astrotrain, I'm not going to lie. So yet again, you might have seen me finagle this a little bit. The two tabs on the arms back here were tolerance better on Astrotrain. They seem a little tight for the slots that they're supposed to go into on the thruster here on the back. On my copy, it might be different on somebody else's copy. The wing piece here goes between the two arms, of course. Now you may have seen me finagling and having a little bit of trouble with the leg. It's because, again, I forgot something about the front. So I, of course, need to turn the nose cone out. But what I forgot to do was push that piece down. That piece, oh man, always gets me. This comes in and this all goes forward. And boom, in the end here we have the shuttle completely unfinished over right here, and that's going to put a lot of people off. But it goes on with the base, and of course all of the blasters and stuff become its accoutrement, so that when it's all put together as a shuttle, it looks like this. And like, that looks pretty cool, I think. I like it. The blue is a bit of a different blue than you would see with Skylinks, or I think the Metropolis set. I feel like their blues are darker than this blue, but whatever, it's fine. It can all go together. It would all look like, hey, this is where space shuttles work. This can, of course, move all the way around. It is a solid connection. Also, because this is a like Siege Earthrise use, if you have battle effects, blast effects, whatever you want to call them, they would, of course, work with all of this as well. So I think that this is serviceable, considering that Galaxy Shuttle has a boring name, considering he kind of has no personality, and is basically like a space bus. You know how like Skyfire was an air bus, I guess, basically? Like he was a great big plane, and I know he was a scientist and stuff, but he basically, his big claim to fame was really like shuttling the Autobots around, right? Well, this guy is the same thing, except for victory, right? He is the Jetfire, Skyfire, whatever you want to call him, of Transformers Victory, if you will. So this is his claim to fame, and it's serviceable, and it looks fine. Now we're going to go to robot mode, and to do that, we're going to, of course, remove him from there. We're going to take all of this stuff off, and we're even going to take this off of the side there. And we're left, of course, with our shuttle again. This came out, by the way. We have our shuttle again. I'm going to kind of zoom in closer here so that we can see, you know, a little bit more of the nitty-gritty of how we do this. By the way, I didn't mention it till we came in closer here, but in terms of looking like the original shuttle, like the original shuttle has white on the wings with Autobot symbols. It has an Autobot logo. Really a little, I think, further up, but this is fine. It does have the blue lines with the yellow. That's on the original. And it does have the detailing here with the blue on the tail. So this is actually a very accurate looking shuttle mode. Again, even if incomplete around here. Okay, let's do the transformation. So, where do I want to begin? Let's pick this off the back, so we have that done. We're even going to fold those wings back a little bit. We're going to split the feet and legs. We're going to bring the entire leg section down, bring the entire leg section down. We're going to fold down these hip skirt pieces to reveal this blue detail. That's pretty key. We're going to come underneath here and flip out what will become a foot. We're going to go underneath on the other side and flip out what becomes a foot. We're going to stand the guy up. I'm going to readjust things so that we can finish the transformation, but that's pretty much the lower body done. Oh, with the lower body done, we can now come here and bring this down on this side, this down on this side. Snap them in. Make sure they both snap in. They went out. Bring down an arm. And bring down an arm. We're going to rotate at the bicep and bring out a fist. We're going to, again, rotate at the bicep and bring out a fist. This whole piece comes down and folds in, right? The tail section like folds inside. These black pieces come around and fold around on the side. There, then put that in. My mistake. Those side pieces need to go in first before the arms tab in. And you hear the clicks, right? You're gonna have to push these in to make sure that they do in fact tab in. Take the thruster piece here, bring it to the back and collapse it, and then take the entire wing section and bring it down in the back and also collapse it. And though he's down here now, boom, in essence, here we have our boy in his robot mode. And here he is with all of his stuff on him. Anything to bulk this guy up. I didn't like the extra accessories and the extra feet and the tinder on the back on Astrotrain because the character model just plain didn't have it. And admittedly, the character model for Galaxy Shuttle doesn't have it either. However, I accept it here because this guy does need to be bulked up. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Let's do his scores. So for the transformation, I still find it a little clunky and cumbersome. I know a lot of people love it. I'm only on it, especially forgetting about the cowcatcher and the I guess the lantern for the train. I always forget about those two things all the time, and it does kind of, you know, mess me up a bit, especially with the lower body. I'm going to say that the transformation is about a 7.5. It's okay. It's all right. The tabs on the arms, also for the thrusters. Okay, it's all right. And in this mode, I feel like they should have been able to do something better to incorporate the tinder than just having it hang off the back like that. But that's just me. So I'm saying a 7.5. In terms of the articulation for the guy, well, let's do the articulation. And yes, indeed, here we have our boy with all of his accoutrement on him. I didn't like it on Astrotrain. I accept it here because anything to bulk this boy up, he needs it. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So I do wish, though, that something better was done with the tinder than back there. I'm okay with the bigger feet because, again, his character model kind of had bigger feet, so I accept it, right? Now, in terms of the transformation, you know, I still think it's only about a 7.5. I always forget the lamp and the cow catcher on the front of the train all the time, and of course that messes up the legs for me. I wish the tabs on the arms slotted in better on the thrusters. I find I need to finagle that a little bit. So it's all right, but you know, again, once we get to the shuttle mode, it still looks like there's a part missing, like it's unfinished. The train mode, it is what it is. The fan mode for the base is serviceable. And the robot mode's okay, but it does, of course, feel small. So I'm saying 7.5 for the transformation. I'm not the hugest fan of it. Then we get to the articulation. And we have a head that goes left and right, up and down. This one has ears. I don't feel like the animation has ears, but maybe the, like, I don't think the animation model had ears, but I think the, like, original toy had ears. The arms, they can go really all the way around. Brought that wrist forward, all the way around. Elbow well over 90 degrees. Bicep swivel. The arm can go out this far, but if you undo the armpit, like, the arm will go well up over his head, right? No wrist rotation. That's a bit of a bummer, especially for the price and the less mass. We have a waist with the hip skirt up. You might have noticed that this was already up. That's so I could do this. And I knew it was coming, and I knew I'd forget the hip skirt, so I just left it up. That was deliberate. So we have the leg all the way forward, the leg all the way back. Now I can put that hip skirt down. The leg all the way, well, not all the way back, but back as much as I think you're going to need it. They can go all the way out to the side for full splits. Thigh swivel. And bring that down. And we do have a knee, but it's the same problem with Astrotrain. Like, the thigh is so short that there's like no thigh after you bend the knee. The knee is a little under 90 degrees. I find that to be a slight bit of a bummer. I wish that the thigh was longer so that the knee could be slightly better articulated. And we do have an ankle tilt. And not really forward or back. I think you could fake forward, but I don't know if you'd really want to fake forward. Wrist would be nice. I guess that's about it. Everything else is really there, so wrist would be nice. I'll give it a solid 9, 9.5. It's pretty much there. I gotta say 9, because the wrist would be nice, and I wish the thigh was longer to allow the knee probably to bend a little bit more, or at least to have the legs not look quite as stumpy and stubby. So we have a 7.5, we have a 9. Right now the guy's about an 8.25. What about the coloration? Well, the coloration is actually alright, starting from the bottom and going up. And I'm not going to include like the red blasters and that accoutrement or the feet pieces here. We're going to start right at the foot proper. Feet should be black. Front of the leg going up here should be white, though there should be a black highlight going up the center of it. I don't think that we would be able to accomplish that here, so I think going with the white was the way to go, and moving that black highlight from the front of the leg over here really to the side of the leg because of transformation, I think was the right way to go. Because by rights, the side of the leg should be completely white. It's not. So a little bit of a change there, but I think it's acceptable. The thigh should be silver. When we get to the pelvis, the center should be white, the side should be black. Then we get the chest area. We should have an Autobot symbol in the middle of it. I don't really see how you would fit one here. I guess you could have tempoed it on, but I don't think it would look great. There should be the blue windows of the shuttle and the nose of the shuttle coming down around, but this blue detail here kind of makes that semicircle, that faux semicircle, and I think it does the job well enough. For the arms, really they are mostly black. There's probably supposed to be a white outline on the bicep shoulder area that's not there, but we do have the red on the shoulder that is supposed to be there. The wings are pretty much the way they should be, with white details and the Autobot symbol and a black edge across the top, and the head is very much toy accurate rather than animation accurate, with the difference only being the horns. For looks, this is really close to Galaxy Shuttle. If you know the character, I think you would look at this and say, yeah, that's pretty much Galaxy Shuttle. I'm going to give it as well a 9. So we were getting a 8.25 and now a 9. He's about a 9, or sorry, he's about an 8.5, 8.75. Now, all of that comes with a caveat. This guy is great, but he should be large. He should be about the size of Skyfire. He should be about the size of Star Saber, and he should be about the size of That's right, about the same size as Liokaiser. This is my custom Liokaiser with the upgrade kit and whatnot. All 6 members, all 6 of the chest minions. I looked at this guy and his most recent update in episode 1002. Since then, I do have some more files for a few more upgrades, like for, which guy is this? Is this Kill Bison? I think this is Kill Bison. Like for his, like double-barreled turret, I guess. Like, and I haven't gotten to them yet, but we will eventually. So as you can see, though, Galaxy Shuttle is much smaller than Liokaiser. For the record, Liokaiser here scales just fine. He is the same size as Skyfire. He's the same size as, like, Combiner Wars, Combiners. He's the same size as Legacy Menasor. Like, he's in that range. He's about 12 inches in height, right? So he's about a foot tall. And so is, say, the Siege Jetfire, right? He's about a foot tall. He's the size of a Combiner. And so should Galaxy Shuttle. So he is small. Galaxy Shuttle is great, but again, the same sort of problem that we had with Astrotrain. He's fine, he's great, but he is too small. Overall score, about an 8.5, 8.75. It's just you gotta be okay with him being a little more diminutive than what Galaxy Shuttle should be. And I think for a lot of people, the fact that he's a character from Victory, and certainly outside of Japan, that's not quite as well known. I think a lot of people will certainly see this as a serviceable version of Galaxy Shuttle. I know I do, and I guess that's all that matters in the end. And here we are once again, and here he is. So first things first, I think a leader class price is still a little bit too much for this. But I don't feel like Voyager is quite enough, right? He's somewhere sort of in between. Personally, if they're in between, I say go with the lower price, but obviously they opt to go with the higher price. Maybe there should be a range of prices within each of the size classes or whatever, right? Like maybe, and I've said this before, maybe like a leader class should run from, I don't know, if you're in the US, maybe run from $50 to $60, depending on, you know, what's involved and how much mass there is and everything else. Just a thought. That said, I do think that putting the bigger feet pieces on is okay here because he had bigger feet in the original animation. The backpack is still egregious. I put it down like this, almost like a cape, just so it's not as egregious, but I'm okay with all of the extra battlement on him, even though the original didn't have it. I'm cool with it here, because anything to bulk the guy up. Since he's supposed to be the size of basically Liokaiser or Star Saber, for example, yeah, he should definitely be bigger than this. So anything I can do to sort of bulk him up a bit, I'm cool with. For those who don't know the character, he has a boring name, he has a boring personality, he's basically a shuttle transport, very similar to what G1 Skyfire was. I already talked about that. I like the head sculpt, I like the look. I don't think we're going to get another Victory inspired Galaxy Shuttle. I really don't. Do I think that a commander class would have made more sense? Yeah, probably. But as it is, I think the mold works better here, and I think there might even be more paint here than there was on the Astrotrain. I'll probably never use the train mode again, but I do like that he can pull off a version of his base mode, and I do like the shuttle and the fact that this base can actually connect with the Batropolis set and Skylinks from Earthrise, because all that sort of goes together to be like the Micromaster base on the Planet Master that was from like Transformers Zone, really, right? All of that can sort of go together and be a nice display. So yeah, I think it's more successful for this guy than it was for Astrotrain. Make of that what you will. If you loved Astrotrain, I think you're going to love this guy. If you didn't like Astrotrain, well, you might still like this guy. Let me know what you guys think about our buddy here, the Transformers Victory Galaxy Shuttle. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button right here at any time and become a channel member. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with it here on the channel, and especially don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, man, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way, right here, inside the videos.